Hello, Nicolette here. Welcome to my channel. On this channel, I talk about how I am a 39-year-old virgin, and I give tips and advice on how it is I became, or how it is I am this old and still a virgin. And if anyone wants to get on that path, even though they're not a virgin, they just want to be celibate, just some of the things that you might think about that would help you on this journey to make it a little bit easier. This is a very hard and challenging journey to be on because of the society that we live in, but it's possible. And if you are a virgin, have been all your life, and you're thinking, should you maintain, should you not? I recommend that you do. It's a very satisfying and rewarding place to be when you're listening to God and waiting for that special someone who treats you as their special someone. Anyway, our video today is going to be on another reason why I believe I'm still a virgin, and that is because I want to better myself, and I'm an intellectual. So that is what we're going to be talking about today. Stay tuned. So another reason why I think I'm still a virgin is because I feel like I'm an intellectual. I find that when people do not reach a certain level of education, they don't value themselves as much, right? They don't see their worth as much. They don't find that they're worth being pursued as much because they don't have much to offer. So I am a nurse practitioner. I am currently doing my doctorate, and I feel like I have put so much time and energy in making me, or allowing me to become the individual that I am now, that I cannot settle for just anybody. Like, I can't just let anybody into my space to ruin my reputation, to ruin what I've worked so hard to get, right? Whether it's with baby mama drama, whether it's with a guy who's going to physically abuse me and unalive me, whether it's with someone who's much less equipped for life than I am, that I'm going to then have to struggle to maintain, right? So many of these reasons, I have them in my mind because I'm an intellectual. Like, I stayed in school. In high school, I stayed in school for college, did my undergrad, 4-year degree, then I went to nursing school, then I went to NP school, and now I'm in, my doctorate program. Like, it took a lot of time. It took a lot of energy. It took a lot of effort. And I feel like if I had to put in that much time on me to pour into my life and to help my life become structured and have this kind of balance and standard for myself, I can't just have anybody come in here and mess it up. Like, you have to put yourself in a position as well where we're, I mentioned in another video, equally yoked. Like, we have similar standards, we have similar education, we have similar, backgrounds, more or less, where we're educated. And sad to say, there are more educated women statistically than there are men. And also sad to say, men feel threatened by intellectual women. So because I'm smart and I do not shy away from, intellectual conversations, from showing that I have knowledge. Like, when I go to church and there's a discussion, whether it's biblical, whether it's political, whether it's whatever it is, I can have a say in it. When I'm in the college with friends in the cafeteria, or we're out in an event, or whatever it might be, when someone strikes a conversation with me, I have input. And I'm opinionated. I have something to say, and I don't get swayed very easily. I'm very persuasive when I talk. I'm knowledgeable enough to back the information that I have or my opinions with facts. So I watch documentaries, I read books, and a lot of times when I speak, it's like, it is so funny because I was having a conversation. I was in Kenya on a mission trip just this past, maybe in the beginning of this month, and we're having a conversation, and there's 2 intellectual men and 2 other young students in our school, and we're having a conversation. And every time I'm talking, I'm like, in a documentary, I saw a documentary, I read this, and it's like, because I was saying documentary so much, then the running joke was, was this in a documentary? And I'm like, you know it. So that's the thing. Like, when you're smart, you can't help but show your intellect. And if a guy is not comfortable and is not as smart or even smarter than you are, they feel intimidated because they feel like you might show them out. Like, some men have a problem with their woman shining more than they do, or their woman stumping them, or their woman telling them what to do. And that's one of the things that I remember when I was looking for a boyfriend before I found my man. One of the criterias was, are you comfortable with having a woman who's smart, right? Can you have these intellectual conversations? Are you comfortable with, breaking down facts and me teaching you, you teaching me? And by the grace of God, my boyfriend is totally comfortable with us having these conversations. And sometimes he'll ask me, babe, what do you think about this? Like, I read this, what are your thoughts? He'd share his thoughts, I'd share my thoughts. And a lot of times he's teaching me, which I love. And that's the other thing. If I can't learn anything from you, if you can't teach me anything, if I'm the one who's always pouring out into you, filling your cup, and my cup is empty after filling yours, and you can't pour back into me, that's a problem. So my boyfriend, sometimes he'll tell me about, finances, social, whatever stuff, how people interact, Bible, theology. Like, he has thoughts and knowledge on so many different topics, and he knows things that I have no idea about, that I've never heard before, concepts that I've never, reached to discuss or explore. And similar for me to him, like, I'll teach him things, he teaches me things. And I think that's really important. When I was an undergrad coming out of college, I was hungry for that kind of connection with anyone. Young ladies like myself and young men, like, I could not find any person who was at the same level of intellect as I was, or better, who was my age. Absolutely no one. And people in my church, they know me. Like, when I go on the pulpit and I present something, baby, there's a research, there's eloquence, there's, you can see I went to college. And a lot of young people, I don't know if they're scared to show people up. They don't want people to feel insecure, or they don't have the knowledge. But you can't tell nowadays a lot of Black young intellectuals if they went to college or not, depending on how they speak. So you can't, right? It's all about jokes and fun and game. I'm not like, there's time for jokes and games, but there's also time for serious intellectual conversation where we can expand each other's minds and learn from one another. Granted, that's not everybody. I just didn't meet many of them. And to be honest, I wasn't much liked in my circle just because of that level of excellence I sought after. Most people were like, you try too hard, you a try hard, or whatever they used to call me. And that's not the case. I don't try hard. I am what I am, and I pursue excellence. My goal in life is excelsior. So if there's a female or a man who can't be on that same wavelength, who doesn't have that same mentality, we can't jive. I don't care if it's a girl or a guy. And so for me, I feel I remained a virgin all this time because I could not find someone who was at the same level of intellectual that I was in, that I also found attractive, that was in my age range, that was also SDA, that didn't have children, that, or didn't have all this drama in their life, or that wasn't, fake, being like they're in the club, but they're in the church. Like, it was just, I had a lot of requirements, but one of the highest ones, other than religion, was intellectual. And also too, I wasn't trying to put any man to school. Like, I'm okay if you decide to get a doctorate or a master's after, but you have to have the bare minimum. You got to go to college. Like, I can't be putting people to school. And if you weren't smart enough to stay in school, that's not my problem. That was your mama's problem. So I'm not going to deal with that. And I don't want my children to have that problem either, because I'm going to have a hard time getting them to understand how education is important. Now, granted, you could make money without education. I understand that. You could be self-learned. I understand that. But have something in your mind. Don't be an airhead. Leave that for the girls. And that's stereotypical. But I'm just saying, that's ugly on a man. Anyway, so that is one of the reasons why I feel that I'm still single, or was still single, right? I valued education. I had a lot of education, and men found that daunting. They found that intimidating. And so Some men did not pursue me because of that, and that reduced my chance of having a man and increased my chance of remaining a virgin. Tell me your thoughts. I'd love to hear it. Bye.